It's spring fever, everybody! Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Spring Fever. As always, I am XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only, the incomparable. It is Eric, aka Uncle Rico. What is up, Uncle Rico?
That's what I want you to introduce me from now on.
What's up, Herb? Herb's in the chat. Everybody.
I want that. That's how I want me to be introduced from now on.
Okay, I think we can manage that. I will remember next week. We got Vince in the chat as well. Everyone's having a good time. We're here to talk some spring fever.
Excellent.
I mean, Frozo starting off with a question: what happened to McLeod Bethel Thompson? I mean,
dude, we were really high on that guy, and
he's shown good. So I don't know. He's trying way too hard. I think this is similar. The Breakers are just cursed. Maybe they had a similar thing last year where they had a mid-season sort of dip of dips, and they just limped into the playoffs. Hopefully, they can kind of bounce back and recover here. But the South is nuts. So before we do anything, schedule for the show. We're going to do a little quick recap of Week 7 of the USFL. We're going to talk about the major unfolding events in the XFL. Then, of course, we've got Week 8 picks of the USFL, and we're going to finish off with a little CFL future sprinkle fest. Because, Eric, we're about a week and a half away of CFL. We're actually about a week. I think next Thursday is game 1 of the CFL regular season.
wow, that is crazy.
It's going to be something. There's going to be a lot of CFL, a lot of USFL. There's a lot of shakeup. I feel like more than a lot of seasons, there was a lot of quarterback movement in the CFL. There's a lot of new quarterbacks on different teams.
And it's a QB league, my friend.
It's very much a QB league. Very much so. But let's start with the USFL recap. Week 7 in the books. Every game a banger. First off, we had the Stallions versus the Breakers. Just alluding to what Frozo said, I don't fully understand what's up with this Breakers offense. The offensive line isn't – it's not what I want it to be. They have Johnny Dixon back, and they played all right, but they just shoot themselves in the foot. Like they can march down the field, and then they just don't score.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not clicking. They don't have the timing and pace that they had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they really don't, and – I get it. McLeod Bethel Thompson still threw for 280 yards, basically. He had 42 attempts.
That's a lot of passes. You have to have that run game to set that stuff up.
He completed 24 of those 42 passes.
Wow.
57% completion percentage.
Jesus Christ.
Need to boost that up a little bit. Need to bump that up a little bit. I think it comes down to a lot of the offensive line play isn't stellar for them, and their defensive backfield's not getting it done. But on the flip side, the Stallions, as much as the guy I think is kind of a joke, Alex Magoo's been pretty good for the past 3 or 4 weeks. He's been getting it done.
Which is shocking when you think about it.
With how injury-ridden this team is, it's nuts that they're doing this. And then CJ Marable came through and had a stellar game. He was averaging for 5 yards a play, 5 yards a run. Like, you're going to win a game with those stats every time.
I mean, 5 yards. It's
as 5 yards a carry is crazy.
As much as everyone wants to make football like a passing league, if you can control the trenches and run at 5 yards a clip,
like the second you get a lead, you're done.
You're done.
Game number 2. The Philadelphia Stars and my beloved Blob, 37. Pittsburgh Maulers, 31. I mean, the Stars, they scored offensively. What more do you want? Like, this is their first time getting an offensive touchdown in 3 weeks. And they've unlocked something. Like, they did the same thing last year, Eric. The Stars did the same thing, too, where they heated up to end the season.
They're peaking at the right time.
They're the best team in the North right now.
I felt the game was competitive. There was that one broken play that got that touchdown. Was that fourth quarter? Start of the fourth, end of the third?
I think so.
And the Maulers just couldn't catch up after that because of limitations. on their offense.
It's true. It is true. They are limited. Their defense, the fact that the Stars did this against the Maulers defense, which I have been riding high all season, was beautiful. Stat of the game, Case Cookus, I believe 0 sacks taken.
Third.
For 2 weeks now? When he was averaging about 3 or 4 sacks a game to start off.
That is crazy, dude.
He has survived, and now he is thriving. They have weapons at receiver, and now we have guys like friggin' Colburn getting unlocked. The Stars are dangerous.
They're peaking, dude.
I was talking with somebody, Eric, and everyone knows that the USFL likes to do some fuckery at the end of the season and just come up with some rule changes.
Yeah.
Some rumors swelling.
Talk to me, Big Daddy.
It's not what happened in the XFL. They might do a little rule switch where in order to make the playoffs, you have to have a winning record. Which means there might not be 2 teams from the North that get in.
I don't like that rule.
You don't like that rule?
Do not.
Okay. Lay out your argument.
You're in the division for your reason.
That's what I always say too.
That's it. You're in the division, win the division, or finish second in the division to get in. There shouldn't be.
Otherwise, don't have divisions.
Yeah, there's no point in having divisions. There should just, if that's the way you're going to do it, that's fine. But then the top 4 teams get in.
Yeah, if you're going to do it that way, just don't do divisions. I always say, like, if you're going to say we have divisions, that means something to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be fine with it in respect to, like, I assume the best 4 teams would get in at that point because, let's be honest, at this point in the season, we'll really know after this week. The announcement's supposed to be coming tomorrow. That's when the USFL, they have some scheduled announcement for tomorrow. People are thinking that's what they're announcing. If they don't announce it this week, this weekend will be very telling because it's a bunch of North versus South again. If it's a bunch of blowouts from the South just demolishing the North, they're going to do it. I just know it. Like it feels like every other week when the North and South play, the South, it's like half the games are non-competitive.
Yeah.
Like, I get it that the Renegades are a special source. And if the Renegades did not get Luis Perez and somehow still stumbled into the playoffs, they would have gotten demolished.
Yeah.
It would have been embarrassing. But they didn't. They got him. They got in and they won the damn league. Stories like that are magical. Also, the Maulers, you actually scored on offense. You had a pretty good game. You were competitive. Good job. Gamblers Showboats. Showboats win at 23-20. Good game. Real good game. I hate that Todd Haley's team is very successful.
Moving the ball on the ground. Defense is playing a lot better. That's another team that seems to be headed in the right direction at the right time.
I saw someone on Twitter post the Showboats as their number 1 power rated team.
Really?
I don't know how I feel about that. It was a take, I guess. Kenji Bahar. I mean, don't throw 2 picks and you might win this game.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't throw 2 picks, you might win this game. And I'm going to stand by it. Since getting Cole Kelly in the starting spot, the Memphis Showboats have been like a top 3 team.
True that.
They are like transformed, not just in offense, but the defense has improved. This is a good defense in the USFL.
They are peaking at the right time.
And I fucking hate it. I hate it, Eric. I hate it so much. Last game of the weekend, your Michigan Panthers took down the New Jersey Generals 25-22. Hope DeAndre Johnson's okay.
That was a nasty hit, dude.
That was a bad hit.
That was a nasty.
That was scary.
Yeah. Nasty.
Okay.
Hopefully he's good.
I also think this was just a tale of the Michigan Panthers seasons where the first 2 games in this game, you got really good Josh Love, where he's like an amazing quarterback, throwing for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. The middle of the season, you get bad Josh Love, and you see what happens to this Panthers team. They just get demolished.
I'm hoping I can get a Breakers -3 next week, or this week, excuse me.
We'll see. We will See, but before we get to the USFL, Eric, any parting thoughts on Week 7 of the USFL? It's this season has flown by.
This season has truly been week to week. There's only been
The parity is crazy.
We're starting to see a couple teams now, after a couple weeks in, being able to piece together good games like on multiple weeks, namely the Showboats and the Stars. It's going to be interesting to see, the Showboats this week against the Generals and the Stars this week against the Stallions, if they're going to be able to continue that.
My biggest takeaway, Week 7, every team's still alive for the playoffs. As of now, unless they change that rule, every team is alive for the playoffs. If they make that rule change, this is like do or die for like the Generals and the Maulers.
Which I hate.
Frozo, thanks. Do you think Eric Barriere will get some snaps before the end of the season? Maybe. I think I wouldn't be surprised. They seem to really like Laletta, and he was good in relief, but the week before he was just straight up bad. So I think if DeAndre's like, if he's seriously hurt, he's done for the season. Don't like that. Just don't let him back in. He's done. Think of your health. If Laletta has another week like last week, I think you can see Eric Barriere. I think that you can see him getting a shot.
Do we have an update on Johnson?
They might do it tomorrow. Nothing as of I looked yesterday. I didn't see anything. It looked like it was like a very serious concussion. Cool Kev in the house, by the way.
Kev, what up, my friend?
But yes, I think my biggest takeaway is that every team right now alive for the Yoffs.
Which is great.
Before we get ahead to USFL Week 8, there was actually some XFL news, Eric.
And I love this news, Jim.
They made some cuts, apparently affecting up to 30 people. They made some cuts to the marketing and event department. I think a big factor in that, I think the biggest place affected by these cuts, Vegas.
Well, I mean, it was awful what happened this year. Their stadium was a complete shit show. They didn't get a stadium the right before. That first game, it was putrid on the air. You were there.
Oh yeah.
You spent good money getting close, but because it was on the baseball stadium, you couldn't even see, and you were like front row center, dude.
I was front row center, but because it was baseball, you couldn't see over the players.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hate, I'll be honest, I'm on their website right now. I hate their freaking website. Marketing, I think.
Apparently, so it says here that Redbird Capital was they weren't content. They were a little discontented with the league's marketing strategy, which is fair. Because I'd say one of the biggest boons to the XFL in 2020 was their social media presence, their marketability, how they catered to fans. That was a little bit lacking, I thought, this year.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously, we talked about it. I'm going to tune into every game. Eric's going to tune into a bunch of games, and the product on the field, there was nothing it was good. I liked the football.
But you have to have the social interaction on the social media. They took away the beer snake and everything. That wasn't good. Then they brought the beer snake back. I don't know. It didn't seem like the first time it was meant to be really fun. It seemed like they're trying to make it a little bit more serious.
I was going to say, it felt a little corporate-y. Yeah, corporate.
Yep.
And I think that's a factor of you're partnered with ESPN. You got The Rock. Maybe it's a little bit more corporate. I don't know. It just had that little bit of feel to it. And it was fun. I loved the season. Great season. But it didn't have that just carefreeness,
Mm-hmm.
Where if something mistake-ridden happens, you're fine. I don't know. I could have seen the XFL this year finding a player if they ran into the stands after the game and chugged a beer.
Yeah.
And that happened literally game 1 of the XFL in 2020.
But I mean, how can I word this? you kind of have to be careful with everything that is happening in the stands now with fans and players and getting into it. I get that. Okay.
Well, no, that's just an example. Like
I
they
know.
had like the seltzer celebrations. They had all this fun stuff, especially like when I was in Vegas, the stuff pregame, there wasn't a lot going on.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot there. I only had the Vegas one. And I feel like environments like San Antonio, DC, and St. Louis propped up a lot of the league.
Yeah.
I'm sure Arlington was fine. I'm sure Seattle was decent. I'm sure Orlando was all right. Vegas was bad.
But that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, that stadium, kind of, right?
A little bit. I think if they find a new stadium, kind of market to the city a little bit better, or they switch cities, I don't know what their plan is, but they got to do something. There's ways you can fix it. It's fixable.
But now, where would you have them move?
If they did move to a new city?
Yeah.
Denver.
San Diego.
I'd like San Diego as well. I'd be fine with that. Put them in the new A's stadium. That's what Frozo says.
Did you see somebody did a drawing of that on Twitter and there's no retractable roof on it? Okay. Who the flying fuck, excuse my language, is going to go to a Las Vegas A's game in 110 heat in Las Vegas with no retractable roof? Who in their right mind is doing that, Jim?
Dumbasses.
Yeah. Go there in a sauna suit, look to cut weight. That's what the MMA fighters would do.
That's what I would do. But Eric, now it is time. I'm fine with the firings, by the way. XFL, hit me up. I will do marketing. I will do promotion. I'll go. I will tone down my craziness just a smidge to make it more palatable for fucking normies out there. I will tune my stuff down, but give me a call.
Would you retire the tit goblin?
I would cover the tits.
So if they came to you and they were like, hey, Jim, we want you to take over the marketing of the USFL, but you need to
the USFL or the XFL?
XFL, excuse me.
Okay.
But you need to retire the tit goblin.
The tit goblin sailing away into the sweet moonlight then.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It'd be my second character retiring. I've already retired at MLFB Jim.
MLFB Jim. Okay.
That scumbag organization. But now, Eric, it's time to pick some games. We have week 8 of USFL action. Before we get into these, though, Eric, I want you to do the sponsor read. I want you to shout out our little promo. You're better at it. You're sexy.
I'm better at it. I don't.
You're hot when you do it, dude.
Am I hot? Well, Spring Fever is brought to you by Royal Retros. If you haven't visited Royal Retros, you have to go visit it. It has the premier stuff from former leagues, as vintage stuff from the USFL, historic hockey, vintage icons, the WHA, 2001 XFL, the ABA. Jim, my order, and I just did my order the other day. You ready for my order, Jimbo? You want me to lay it on you?
Lay it on me, Daddy.
From the Bay Area, I went with the historic Oakland Oats of the ABA t-shirt. Okay. Got a little Oakland Oats going. Okay. Then I went over to the Arena League, one of the most proud franchises in the history of the Arena League. I went with the Detroit Drive, and then old school USFL went with the Chicago Blitz. Make sure when you go there, use promo code Spring Fever. That is all one word. You get 10% off, and that way they know old Uncle Rico and cousin Jim sent you.
I might get me a Memphis Grizzlies shirt from the World Football League.
What are you doing?
I might get me. I get paid next week. I'm gonna go ham. I'm gonna go ham in the store. I'm gonna make sure to use promo code Spring Fever. But now, Eric, it is time to pick some games. Game number 1, we have the Houston Gamblers versus the Pittsburgh Maulers. Gamblers are sitting at -3 right now with an over/under of 42.5, plus 135 on the money line for the Maulers. I kind of want to take the Gamblers.
I kind of want to take the Maulers.
Just, dude, the North versus South narrative has never been stronger. I don't know.
So your thesis is?
I think the teams in the South are so much better than the teams in the North.
So you're just gonna blindly fade them,
except maybe the Stars because I'm biased and they're hot. But like the Maulers have disappointed in a lot of weeks. I think 3 is a close enough spread that I'm fine fading them there.
You're fine. Okay. All right.
I'm also going to take the under 42.5. I'm just going to.
I would definitely take the under. I think these defenses are going to show up, especially after how much the Maulers gave up last week.
Yes, Stars Stallions Saturday afternoon. Stallions are -6.5, over under 45.5, plus 195 on the money line for the Stars.
To me, this feels like a lot of puntos. A lot of points, my friend.
It does feel like a lot of puntos. This is the championship rematch.
I kind of want to take the Stars.
I also want to take the Stars here. I'm going to be completely biased to my team. I'm taking the Stars plus the 6.5. I'm taking the over 45.5.
That's a lot of points, Jimbo.
It's a lot of points, but I mean, both these offenses can put up points as we've seen. Do I dare sprinkle the money line? I'm going to hold off for now.
I would do a little sprinkle.
If I could get like a plus 200, I'm a sprinkle. I'm going to get a little
So
sprinkle.
here's the thing, okay? So, we're talking about social media, okay?
Yep.
We're talking like trying to figure out what's going on and everything.
Yep.
So I'm looking. I Googled it. I'm on the Generals page right now. I'm going down. I'm all the way. When do they play? May 28th?
When did they play?
Yeah.
They played.
Yeah, taken to a local hospital to be evaluated. Okay.
That was the last update.
That was May 28th. There is no update on Twitter. No update from the Generals. Like just nothing.
It's a problem. That's specifically like information like that and roster movement and injury reports are a huge problem still with all of these leagues. Like the USFL is bad about it. The XFL is bad about it. And even I found out yesterday looking up some stuff, the CFL is pretty bad with like roster updates too.
I mean, excuse me. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, the fact they claimed Jeremy kind of tells me Johnson's out.
Oh yeah. I think he's probably after that hit. Yeah, I assumed he was out for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
he's done.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Yeah.
But so, are you betting anything on this? Are you taking the Stars?
Oh no, this just
stay away.
Just me going on tangents, my friend.
Are you taking the Stars though?
No, this is a pure pass. If I leaned, I'd take the Stars though. Pure pass.
Before we get to this next game, Eric, I have a fun stat for you. There is one team in the league of the USFL that has a positive turnover rate. There's only one.
Showboats.
Yep, +6. No other team in the USFL has a positive turnover rate. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel a little leery about placing the Showboats bet.
So right now the Generals are -2 versus the Showboats, over under 41, plus 105 on the money line.
Jim, I want you to. I'm gonna say this to you, and I want you to be the one thing you learn from me, buddy. The sports books are not your friends.
I know. It's like I want to say wrong team favored.
I think because of that, you just gotta walk away, man.
I can't walk away. I'm taking the Showboats money line. I can't. Hook, line, and sinker. They got me. Let me see if I can. Let me look at a little competitor to a little bet online and see what I'm seeing there.
I'm seeing a 2 on this one.
I'm seeing 2s.
I've been playing a lot of Bob Hill, and Bob Hill has it too.
Yeah, I don't have legal sports books in my neck of the woods, Eric.
Oh,
Nebraska doesn't have onshores.
Rivers has it at 2.5.
2.5, you say? Who's the starting quarterback for the Generals?
And they have the Stars at 6.5.
Yeah, 6. We got him at 6.5 too.
Okay.
I'm seeing 2s. I'm gonna take the. Yeah, I know what. Maybe I'm walking into a trap. I don't care. I'm taking the Memphis Showboat straight up plus 110. I'm also going to take the under 41.5.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap. I don't care. I'm taking the under too. Panthers, Breakers. Breakers minus 3.5, over under 43.5. Please, oh please. If I see a 3, I'm taking the Breakers.
You know what? Guess what Bobby Hill has it at?
3?
Yep.
Give me that 3. Give me the Breakers, baby.
I'm taking the Breakers.
I'm going to fade the hell out of Michigan after that win.
You have to. You have to fade. They played the best game they've played.
And the starting quarterback for the Generals got injured.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is going to be my one bet of the week, and I'm going to take the breaks minus the 3.
I will join you in that. So my picks are the Gambies minus 3 and the under 42.5. The Stars plus 6.5 and the over 45.5. A little sprinkle on that money line. I'm going to take the Showboat straight up. I see plus 110. I'm going to take the under 41. And I will take the Breakers minus 3. And I will take the under 43.5. I'm taking all unders except for the highest total. That's a recipe for success right there.
I lean Maulers. I lean Stars. I lean Showboats. I'm betting the Breakers.
Now, Eric, you ready to look at some CFL futures?
Give it to me, big dog.
Let's go down the list from longest odds to shortest odds. So Edmonton Elks sit at the bottom at 16-1.
Nope,
not touching it. Auto Red Blacks 12-1.
Love them.
Still no for me. Still a no for me.
I'm on it, dude. So to me, this is the one.
Masoli's getting hurt week 5. He's out for the rest of the season. This team collapses. I'm predicting the future right now.
Well, dude, you're a dick.
I'm sorry, but
you know what? I've seen him at 25-1.
If you see 25-1, maybe then.
I'm locking him in, dude.
Rough Riders 9-1.
Nope, offensive line.
Alouettes plus 750. Interesting.
But
interesting. Stampeders 7-1. Interesting.
Nope.
Hamilton Ticats plus 650. They did just upgrade to the best running back in the league.
I like
them.
They
lost one of the top receivers. I think the Ticats at 650 is not bad. They're also in the way easier division. They're in the way easier side.
I know, and I hate the fact I'm going to have 2 Eastern teams, but that's what I'm going to have.
Argonauts plus 550.
Hey, Argonauts. Nope. Yep.
BC Lions plus 425.
BC is a fade for me, man. Give me some fucking.
I just feel like BC downgraded at like so many positions. Like they still have decent guys. Like I think what they have is good, but they're all still downgrades.
Who do they play week 1, man? I mean, give me the Stampeders, man.
Week 1. Yeah. And then the Bombers are plus 300, and I will actually I'll bet that.
You'll bet that to your blue in the face.
Yeah, because they're still the best team. Like they still have it. Like they're still really good, and they return. Like they got Kenny Lawler back. Like
Jeremy Lawler, they got the King.
They got the King's cousin. Exactly, Frozen. I fade BC all day. Hammer, Hamilton, baby.
Dude, Frozo and I, we're on the same wavelength today, my friend.
Dude, I mean, they got the best running back in the league. And he's like the best pass. They upgraded at every position except like wide receiver. They lost Dunbar, and Dunbar's fantastic, but still, I think Hamilton's going to have a really good year. I can't get behind the Red Blacks yet, so Eric. I'm sorry, I can't.
Dude, you're such a hater, dude.
I can't.
You're a hater, Jimbo.
I am. I mean, win a home game. Win a home game. Let me actually look up the stats right now. Ottawa Red Blacks home record in the last 5 years. Let's see. Those just wins, losses, ties. I wish they would say home splits. Because they are so bad. When was the last time the Red Blacks won a home? Come on. Oh, maybe right here. Maybe right here. Well, they went 0-9 last year. Hey, Eric, are you a fan of Jeremiah Masoli?
Oh, huge
I
fan.
love him. I just think he's going to get hurt.
Fan. Huge fan.
The Red Blacks, Eric, have had 10 wins in 3 seasons.
Hey, buddy, you know what? Due for some positive regression.
That's fair. I think that'll do it, though, for this episode of Spring Fever. Make sure you guys go to royalretros.com. Use promo code SpringFever for 10% off. Make sure you support Uncle Rico here. With what do you have going on, Eric?
I have my podcast that comes out this Friday. Jim's going to be making a cameo. We're going to talk a little USFL. I'll talk a little NASCAR with my boy Brandon. I'm going to be doing a fantasy football preview of the Indianapolis Colts and Arizona Cardinals. And I think that is all I have on the podcast this week.
You guys know where to find me at XFL Gym. I will be streaming some USFL this weekend, potentially. I don't know if I might be helping some people move in some stuff. I just finished this Mountain Dew. That was delicious. I haven't had Mountain Dew in a while. I'm feeling real good. I got a lot going on.
So you're going to be up for a while tonight?
Probably. Oh, Frozo got the ELF Game Pass because CFL won't be on demand this year. I mean, yeah, it's probably worth it. I got my X League Pass. I'm going to try and stream some X League next week. That's going to be a goal next week. We'll see how that works out.
Well, if I can stay up, what time?
Eric can stay up. I'm going to do it on. I'm going to try and do it on StreamYard to make it easier for you, Eric.
What time do those games start?
Like 11 or midnight.
And when do they end?
They're like 2 or 3 hours, so 1 to 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Sometimes 3, but usually about 1 or 2. Okay. ELF Gym next year, potentially. ELF is hard to watch because all the games are on during like the workday. It sucks. Same thing with like, also there's just like so many games. Like at some point I have to pick which leagues I can fully cover. Mm-hmm. I love the ELF. Just like I love like indoor football league and the arena leagues and whatnot, but it's so hard for me to cover. It's just a lot of football. And specifically on a lot of those leagues, I can't bet them. Like not where I'm at. Eric can bet indoor football league.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't live in Illinois.
You know what, Jim?
It's a damn shame.
It's a crying shame, my friend.
It's a damn shame. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Give us a little subscribe. We'll see you guys next week for some more Spring Fever. Bye.